Welcome to today's lesson. Today we review division, partial quotients, and long division. The learning target today is I can divide the same numbers by using partial quotients and by using long division. So check it out. Here I have the same problem, 987 divided by 7, and it's written twice. I'm going to do this one problem both using partial quotients and long division. This has two purposes. One, it's review for both methods. But two, your practice work today looks just like this. You have 3 slides that are split in half, and you have the same problem written on both sides. And you're going to be asked to solve the same problem using 2 different strategies, partial quotients and long division. And you'll have to do that with 3 different problems. So you'll solve 6 problems in all, but there's only 3 different problems. All right, so this is actually a model for what you're going to be doing in your practice work today. So let's get right to it. Let's start with partial quotients. All right, so here I am, 987 divided by 7. Well, I'm going to start by, since this is partial quotients, writing my line down the right-hand side here. And I'm going to ask myself the question, how many groups of 7 can I make from 987? And I often like to actually picture something. So I'm going to picture 987 Lego bricks sitting in a giant pile in the middle of my table. How many groups of 7 Lego bricks can I make from this pile? Well, I'll start by asking myself, can I make at least 100 groups of 7? I can, and that's 700. And that might actually be a great partial quotient to start with because 700 is pretty close to 987. So let me do that. I'm going to go ahead and write my 100 groups over here on the right. And then I'll write what turns out to be my equal sign. And I'm going to do my multiplication, 100 times 7, which I've already done up here. And I'll come up with 700. So we're now making 100 groups of 7 Legos in each group. And that'll set aside 700 of those Legos, leaving us with, let's see, 7, 8, 287 Legos left. So we just repeat the process now. How many groups of 7 Legos can I make from 287 Legos in this pile? So the pile's shrunk, but it's still pretty big. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to think, 287, that's kind of close to 280. And that's an extended math fact that includes 7 because 7 times 4 is 28. So 7 times 40 is 280. I'm going to go with 40. So I'm going to say there are, 40 groups of 7. That's 280. Ooh, I like it. So I'm going to go with 40 groups of 7, 280 Legos in those 40 groups. And that leaves me with just 7 Legos left over, from which I can make one more group. And one group of 7 is 7. I can subtract that and get no remainder. So that leaves me with, let's see here, Let me go with green. 100 plus 40 plus 1 is 141, or 141. This is my final quotient. So when I'm done multiplying over here, I should have a quotient of 141, shouldn't I? Let's see now. I'm actually going to leave my quotient right on top there, and that's going to make my life a little bit easier. Check this out. On to long division. In long division, we start by asking ourselves, how many groups of 7 can I make from 9? Well, the answer is 1, right? That step is done. Let me back up. Let me write divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. That's a good idea. You should do that. So I've already divided. There's one group of 7 and 9. So now I'm going to multiply. 1 times 7 is 7. Then I'm going to subtract. 9 minus 7 is 2. And then I'm going to bring down the 8 and get 28. And I'll ask myself now, going back to the top, how many groups of 7 are there in 28? Well, the answer is 4. It's already there. So far I'm correct. It's working out. That's my division step. 4 times 7 is 28. That's my multiplication step. And then I'll subtract and get 28 minus 28. That's 0. And then I'll bring down my next digit. And that is 7. And I'll go back to the top. And I'll divide again. How many groups of 7 are there in 7? There's just one, and that's what's written down already. So one group of 7 is 7. Let's division and multiplication. Subtract now and get no remainder. And there's nothing left to bring down. And I'll see that it did, in fact, work out that my quotient is 141 in both cases. This is your work today. The same problem done both with partial quotients and long division. You'll do that 3 times over. All right? Let me know if you need help. We can work on this together if you'd like, but give it your best shot. I know you can do it. All right, let's do this.